All right, we're
All right.
live. Okay, folks, welcome to the TD Report. I'm David Combs here with Tony Kennedy. Tony Kennedy's out at Maryland Live tonight. Big game getting ready to go on. What time Celtics and Golden State tip off tonight for Game 6?
9:10.
About 9:10. All right, so
Yeah, about
guys,
9:10.
yeah, we're gonna go about 45 minutes, and we've got a few things we want to talk about today. First and foremost, congratulations to all these kids nationwide. You know, we're here in the DC metro area. Kids graduating, college, high school. Hey, man, congratulations. This is great. Moving on to that next phase in their life, especially for the high school kids. Have a safe and happy summer. Safe. Don't do nothing stupid, okay? Go take your butt to college, all right? You college kids graduating. Hey, man, congratulations. That's great. Don't do anything stupid. You're getting ready to get a job in a few weeks, right? About to get,
Goddamn
you got
right.
your mom and dad want you up out their house, so you need to hit that job. You know what I'm saying? So, Big Tony, we weren't on when the Jack Del Rio comments happened, and then when Jack Del Rio aftermath happened, and Ron Rivera's statements. Let's get you on the record. Uh, what do you think about what Jack Del Rio said? What do you think about how the Washington Commanders responded?
First, first of all, is Jack Del Rio's First Amendment right. So he can say what he want to say. Um, so I believe in your First Amendment right, and so we want to get through that. So let's not act like we're going to be holding you to a double standard. But with that, right, consequences, responsibilities, whatever you want to call them, what Jack Del Rio did to me was fireable because if we believe in democracy and you want to talk about democracy, but then you want to call people who try to overturn our government, you want to compare them to I can't breathe to the people like us who marched in those streets peacefully, and you want to compare them damn thugs to us, man, F Jack Del Rio and F the Skins for not pulling the trigger on him. He's trash.
I I think he was, and for everyone that doesn't know, but pretty much our listeners know, he was fined $100,000. He then canceled his Twitter account. Then now he's been a little quieter on social media. That's fine. I'll say this, Tony. I think if a player had done what Jack Del Rio did, if the Commanders substantially didn't agree with what he said, he would have been fined. And in some cases, they would have cut somebody for that. Okay. So I would say Jack Del Rio should consider himself very lucky that he's holding on to his job. Number one, he's very, very fortunate. And I'll say this, he's, 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 he's privileged. Okay.
I
He's
don't.
privileged in a way that he doesn't think he is. He's privileged to continue to have that job. Okay. Now, some of the Washington Commanders have all said the right things. They've backed his right to their free speech, but at the same time, nobody's condemned him in Washington off of the team. And I look at what happened with a certain other NFL player when he decided that he wanted to avail himself of his First Amendment rights. What happened to him? Okay. And generally, until he ends up really, you know, what happened to Colin Kaepernick after he did what he did, and compare that to how the Commanders handled Jack Del Rio. I will say this: by finding Jack Del Rio the $100,000, if a Washington player were upset about his contract status, upset about his playing time, or how a coach treated him, if he spoke to the media, I can almost guarantee you that they've opened the door that they'll just be able to fine him, just slap a fine on him and say that. And is it his right to say, hey, I don't like how my contract is working. I don't like how they did my contract. I don't like how they negotiated. Sure, it's his right to say that. But they're going to touch back. They're going to hit you. They're going to hit you. You know, Washington front office and the owner's box is going to hit you back. So I think right now the Washington players, it's a younger team, especially on that defense, a lot of younger players. Those guys don't want to lose. They don't have anything established other than just their basic contract. They don't have anything established where they're like somebody like an Aaron Rodgers, where you can just basically just say almost, that Aaron Rodgers can virtually say almost whatever he wants. When Tom Brady can say almost whatever he wants because they have that luxury. And a lot of players do not have that luxury to be able to say what they want. That's my take on that situation. I'm not happy with how it went down either, Tony. But I don't think, you know, this is the NFL. This is the Shield. I don't think we're going to see anything better in terms of high moral purpose or understanding what the Constitution is and what it means. I don't think we're going to get anything as far as an education on constitutional law from these people. That's not what the NFL is.
His timing was awful because
Terrible.
right after he said it, then they commenced to showing all of the tape. It wasn't a dust up, your dumbass, Del Rio.
Mhm.
It's so incredible, but then he tries to throw it back on all the summer riots and everything. Well, why were they in the street, Jack? Because they killed someone who looked like the people that you post. He's a dumb asshole. And man, I don't mean to talk about people like that, but those people that try to, these false equivalencies, it kills me. They always try to throw black folks under the bus to make a point. See, when you try to throw black folks under the bus to make a point, that means your ass is racist.
More than likely.
I don't mess with him. I don't care how many players he goes. Look on your team, Jack. You only got one white starter. You want to piss your team off? Maybe you did it on purpose so you can piss them off so they can play better for you. Or what? I don't know. But I wouldn't be playing for his ass. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's listen, and it's bigger than football. But Tony, you know, this is their livelihood. For those 4 to 6 to 8 years, it's I hate to say it, it's almost like being in the Army. I mean, you know, playing in the NFL, yeah, you can do commercials and you can date underwear models and strippers and all that stuff. And hey, that's great. You know, I wouldn't know anything about that. I've never dated a stripper, but you know, you can do all that stuff. You can do commercials. You can sell Coca-Cola. You can sell athletic equipment. You can start a charitable foundation. But generally, it's like being in the Army. You go to work. If you don't want to if you can't make it to work that day, where are you supposed to be, Tony? In the trainer's room. Okay. Oh, you in? Okay. Get over to the trainer's room. Let's look at your leg. Let's look at your shoulder, your knee, your neck, whatever. What you supposed to be doing today? Your rehab. Great. You can't be in the club that day, right? You're supposed to be in here doing your rehab because at that point, your body is your tool. That's your instrument of how you do your business, and you're supposed to take care of it. You're supposed to, you know, do your film study, hit your playbook, you know your playbook. You got the position meetings that you got to go to, all of that stuff. And that's how you get your money. I think a lot of us lay people like myself, I've never played pro football. I think, you know, okay, you go to practice and everything, you just show up and ball, right? No, there's a lot more to it. And that you do what they tell you to do. That's what the NFL is. So, hey, listen, if I was Russell Wilson and I get to be married to Ciara and have a bunch of kids and all that stuff, hey, that's great. But the stuff that you have to go through to get that, I think that's the part that people don't look at. I think, you know, a lot of us fans, we only see the glitz. You know, we just see the opening splash, you know, for the NFL on Fox or NFL on CBS. That's all we see. We don't see people like you that have done it before. JB Brown, shout out to JB, guys that did it in that league. You know what I'm saying? Ray Lewis, putting all that preparation together. And I mean, let's be honest. You also get hit out there. This isn't like me working in an office. I ain't going to get hit at the office, man. You know, so it's easy for us to sit in judgment and I get it, and we have opinions, but I don't really like how the Washington Commanders handled it. But I think they did just up to where they wouldn't get sued back by Jack Del Rio. That's my feeling on it. So, Tony, any final words on Jack Del Rio? Let's talk about the football side of it. It sounds like Washington has brought in Warren Sapp as a coaching consultant for their defensive line to kind of get all those guys on the defensive line on the same page. What do you think about bringing in a Warren Sapp?
Well, I mean, if they got the heart like Warren Sapp, then they're gonna be all right. But I always said 4 first-round draft picks on a D line is a waste. There's never been a defense that had 4 first rounders on it like that. Not that I know of.
You got to balance it out. I would say, and I've always felt this: you can't have 4 first rounders on any in a unit like that because you got to pay them. And eventually that's going to catch up. I think that eventually it's going to catch up. And also think about this, Tony. Somebody has to take the least amount of money. Who's that going to be?
Well, it's going to be Payne because they look like they didn't re-up his stuff. So he's going to
signed first. Yeah, he re-signed first. So the next guy, will get a little more. So, Tony, let's talk a little NBA right now. We've got the finals going on. Game 5, great game by the Golden State Warriors to take control of the series. They're up 3-2 on Boston. Boston, I don't know what happened. What was that? Steph Curry didn't have a game for Golden State, and Boston still lost handily.
That's what you call championship experience and playing at home. When Steph Curry has a bad game like that and you still can't beat them, that's a bad sign because he's not going to have 2 bad games on the road. He's going to have a good game tonight. Right.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I can go over here and gamble on that.
You're about to gamble on that.
But I'm going to gamble on that. That's the part I will gamble on tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any gambling opinions expressed on the TD report are for entertainment purposes only. We just want to make sure we understand that. Please gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
For money purposes. I'm at the damn casino. So,
boy, you stupid.
Cut that shit. She said FanDuel.
Tony, you're supposed to be investing your money in Tesla or something like that. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's gambling.
No.
That's gambling. Hey, so who do you like tonight in this game? Look on the board, Tony. Look on the board. What are the numbers on the board up at Maryland Live? What do they have up there?
Well, the numbers right now, it looks like they have Boston favored by 3.5.
Okay, that's a good number. I go for that. I think Boston does win tonight, by the way. I think this goes 7.
So they've been in 20-something series that Boston's been in the finals. Some crazy numbers. 20. They've only lost 1 time at home for the team to clinch the championship. You know what year that was?
Let me see. Was that – who was it, the Lakers?
1985. The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep, that was Kareem and them. Hey, Have you seen that? Have you been watching that series? You been watching the Lakers series?
Winning time.
Yeah, winning time. Hey, everybody, we're going to step off of the Golden State Warriors series for just a second because Tony brought up the Lakers. I got to talk about this. I haven't seen it, Tony. I haven't watched it.
Oh, you need to take an evening and start watching it. Winning Time is one of the best shows ever. It tells you everything. But let me tell you something. One of the big mistakes that was ever made was Magic Johnson taking the deal with Converse. Had he taken the deal with Nike, he would have been a multi-billionaire.
Magic's not a billionaire, right? He's a billionaire by now, right?
No, he's not.
He's not?
Only 3.
It's only Tiger It's Tiger, Michael, and LeBron.
Yep.
LeBron just made it. Tiger just, well, if Tiger hadn't got divorced, he would have been a billionaire 10 years ago.
Yep.
Because he must have paid out. He must have paid out like $300 million on his divorce.
Crazy
At least.
stuff.
At least.
What these people get.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, man, Tiger, we cool and everything. Hey, bruh, you should have kept it, bruh. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all should have worked that out. $300 million.
Waffle House chick.
A Waffle House. He was it was Perkins. It was Perkins.
Whatever she was.
So listen, Boston fans are going at Steph Curry's wife. They're going at Ayesha. A local restaurant in Boston has a sign out front that says Ayesha Curry can't cook. And then Steph Curry, either he put a tweet out and he said Ayesha Curry can cook, and then he busted, now the Golden State Warriors are up in the series, and now popping up in Boston are T-shirts that say Ayesha Curry still can't cook. So I get some of that is kind of funny and all of that stuff, but I don't know about that. I'm a little. I think having the name of someone else, if I have the name of some man's wife on my shirt to get in his head, that's crazy.
But you know what I would have put? I would have came back with them. I would have said, but I can cook because I'm cooking the hell out of y'all Boston baked beans.
That's why I want to see Boston lose tonight. All right, I don't think they will, but I'd love to see them lose tonight in Boston and have Golden State celebrate on their court. Now, it's not like the Boston Garden. That would have just made it incredible. They play, what is that, TD Ameritrade Center. I think it's TD or something like that. Yeah, but I don't like the corporate stuff. Just in general, how do you feel this series has gone in terms of the popularity? Has it captured NBA fans? Has it captured the casual fan? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I was wrong about the series. I thought Golden State would just kill them. But the coach for Boston is pretty damn good. Boston's a pretty tough team. They're doing a hell of a job, and it's a great series. So I'm not going to complain about the series. I mean, actually, it's been pretty good. It's been very competitive. They've been going at it. I mean, you can't ask for much more right now, seeing that we're, 45, 60 days out to the first NFL game. So
80 days. 80. It's 80 days.
That's for the first opening game. We're talking about August 5th.
You're talking about preseason. You see, I don't count preseason, Tony. I don't count preseason.
I do because
I'm always in game. Huh?
That's the first hit of the drug. You on that pipe. You got to count that.
Nah, man. I'm always ready to see some football. I like this series.
1 more month from football.
I like this series.
4th of July, so 45 days.
Tony, I like this series because this is Golden State's opportunity, technically we're post-pandemic or whatever you want to call this, for them to have an opportunity to be healthy. Mainly Klay Thompson, Steph Curry's healthy. The only significant injury that they have right now is James Wiseman. He's been out most of the year anyway. So I like seeing the younger players for Golden State emerge. Jordan Poole playing great. I like to see that. And that's a testament to their front office because as Klay Thompson and Steph Curry begin to get towards the end of their careers, these younger players can step up. There's lots of opportunities.
And Wiseman.
Wiseman will be back. He'll be back.
And, so they
they
got a core of about 10 players that's going to be. I mean, if Golden State is smart, I'm keeping all these guys together until they can't walk.
I think you have to because they basically built the Chase. They built the Chase Center. They built it. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't have the new building without those guys. So I think you take a page from the Bulls, the Jordan Bulls, and you just keep them together until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
There we go,
just do that. And those guys, and the thing that everybody's going to enjoy about the Golden State Warriors, now that Kevin Durant has come to the team and then moved on, their core is all homegrown players.
Yep.
They've drafted pretty much everyone. And the only other guy that I can really think of that's part of the rotation is Gary Payton Jr. And he was a journeyman before he got here. Hell, he was here in Washington. I bet he was. I'll tell you what, Tony. I bet GP2 was glad to get up out of here, buddy. He did. If Washington cut him, if Washington let him go, they did that dude a favor.
Man, listen, man.
He about to get a ring.
The sports in DC, the two basketball, football stars, all the rest of the sports are great. They're pretty good managed teams.
Baseball, not so good, Tony.
Well, I mean, it's only been, listen, we've only had one we haven't had a COVID year without baseball. We won the last championship before COVID.
Correct. Yes, we did.
Okay.
That was great. I still watched it. Tony,
I don't count
all I have left,
crap.
Tony, all I have left is a hat, a championship hat, and the highlights. That's it.
But that's all right. It happened recently.
Very recently.
Yeah. So the rest of this garbage, I don't care about.
Yeah,
So it happened recently.
We've got an interesting story brewing here in baseball in Washington. As you know, the Nats are exploring. The Lerner family is exploring the possibility of selling the team. Anytime a team gets sold, there's always questions as to, is it possible the team could move? Okay. Now, I haven't heard anything saying, oh, the Nats are going to leave Washington or whatever, but there are a lot of talk around Major League Baseball about the Oakland Athletics possibly leaving Oakland, which
they're going to Vegas.
Well, listen, if you're an owner right now, if you're the Lerner family, and an ownership group in Vegas came to you and said, hey, listen, we got all the cash. We can give you the money for your team, and you can come to Vegas, and we're going to pay off all your personal debt. We're going to do all of this and all of that.
They're not letting this team leave. They will never vote to let this team leave. We lost two of them. They can't afford to leave the DC market 3 times.
And because they would lose baseball in DC forever at that point. They'd lose all these fans that they built up. They've only been built up. Tony, they've only been here. The Nats have been here 14 years.
No,
it's like 14 or 15 years.
They've been
04.
Here since
05. 04.
04, 05 is their first.
That's 17. That's 17 years.
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
Okay. In that time, they've been competitive more often than they've not. Because they had been competitive for many, many years. Won the division. I think they won the National League East like 4 times or something like that. And then went to the World Series. Won the championship. That ain't bad. So the fans that got Washington baseball as a new product, not an expansion team, but, a team that had moved over from Montreal, moved down, excuse me. That's all fine and well. But now they've got diehard fans that they're going to basically kill if they were to move the team. I don't think they'll do that, but the Lerners don't have control over that. Whoever purchases the team has control over
That's why I need to believe Leonsis or somebody who's from this area. Hell, I'll take Cal Ripken.
Put in a bid, supposedly. We don't know.
I'll take Cal Ripken's group.
Let's talk about Cal Ripken. The Baltimore Orioles are in dire straits financially. They're 31st out of 32 teams. No, they're 32nd in terms of operating payroll. They operate that team on $83 million a year. Okay? Just being a member of the Major League Baseball, just being a member, they get $100 million a year off the TV deal. So before they before they sell a hot dog, before they sell a ticket, they're in the black by $16 million, Tony. Okay? That includes the payroll. Now, if you look at the top of the league, I think it's the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have the biggest payroll, 243 million as far as their
That's why the
opportunity,
Dodgers are world champions.
and
The
should have been,
Orioles
and they should have
can't
more
even
than
beat
one.
a Baltimore baseball team. They can't even beat the damn AAA team.
That's right. So if you think the Orioles at this point, they're not filling up Camden Yards. And still to this day, Camden Yards is one of the best buildings in the league, one of the best facilities in the league. And if it weren't for Camden Yards, you wouldn't have some of the fields that we have, like Jacobs Field in Cleveland, and so on and so forth. Everybody copied off of what the Orioles did. And to see a baseball town like Baltimore have their team be in the crapper for, I don't know, the better part of 10 years. The last time they made the playoffs was 2016, Tony. They've been in the crapper since 2016. They're going to finish last again this year. And the thing is, the young players that they have, they're not terrible. They're good young players. But these kids are never going to get the support that they need. The Orioles are never going to pay the salaries that they need. Look, Manny Machado figured that out, said, I ain't staying here for that. I'm going to get the big money. Go to richer owners, okay, and get your money. So basically what this says is even if the Orioles had a Bryce Harper or Steven Strasburg come into the organization, they're never going to pay that guy market value. They're going to use up his rookie deal. They're going to use up his initial pro deal, 6 years, I think, under team control, and then they're going to let him go. Or they're going to trade him. But most of the time, the Orioles don't. They just try to sign the guy and try to give him a bullshit deal, and the guy just leaves. He just leaves. So if the Orioles left Baltimore and just give the city over to the Ravens, it's a Ravens town. When the Ravens got there, it was an Orioles, but not anymore. The Ravens are the number one.
They would put a baseball team there immediately.
They should. I don't think they will. They're not
leaving Camden Yards empty.
That's the other thing about these stadiums. If the Nationals ever left Washington, Nats Park, if Nats Park is the anchor to all those businesses down there, their business is still coming to that area, coming down to that waterfront.
Condos down there, man. They're not leaving there.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't. I mean, you've heard the term "too big to fail," and that's what these ball teams are. That's what the Ravens are. That's what the Orioles are. That's what the Nationals are. There's a lot, like you said, Tony, $2 million condos, new luxury stores, restaurants, concert venues, all of that stuff down there. Tony from FanDuel is in the building, everybody. Tony from FanDuel is in the building on the TD report. It's big business, Tony. And I would hate to see that happen. Listen, my son is now 16, and I took him to his first baseball game. When I took him to his first baseball game, he was like this big. He was just a baby. All right. And Ryan Zimmerman was a young player back then. I think he'd only been in the majors maybe 2 years, maybe 3. And now he's retired. And my son is like 16. So I don't want to see anything happen to the Nationals. I hope we get good owners, whether it's Jeff Bezos or Ted Leonsis. I'm not a fan of how Ted Leonsis is running the Wizards, but he's done a good job at the Capitals. He did a good job. Got us a Stanley Cup. Shout out to Alex Ovechkin, one of the best players of his generation, one of the best players of all time.
One of the all-time best players.
If it weren't for COVID, he might very well be. He's number 2 on the goals scored list, right? All time. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. He has a shot at Gretzky. Outside shot. Okay. I'll tell you what, if he puts up another 50 goals next year, another 50, 40 or 50 goals, he'll be right there. But yeah, Ted Leonsis is owner of the Nationals if that happened. And by the way, The Nats are not officially for sale. They're just inquiring about it. But there have been 20 inquiries, 20 different ways to pay interest. So hopefully they stick with it for 2 years. All right, so we're getting ready to gear up for game time. Do they get warm-ups yet? Do they have the
No, we ain't here watching the Yankees.
Hey,
Yankees
Derek
lose
Law,
to
what's up, buddy?
Tampa Bay. What's up, Derek?
Derek Law.
What are you up to?
Derek Law, isn't he coaching? He's coaching the summer ball, right?
Yeah. No, he's got a coaching game. Congratulations, Derek, on your coaching game. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, company got. Congratulations.
Yeah, West Potomac. Yeah, West Potomac, right?
West Pole, baby.
Yeah, we got to go to, you know what?
Yeah, West Pole or Hayfield, one of them.
Yeah, we got to go. You know what, Tony? We should do the show from one of their games.
Yeah, one of these Friday night games.
If we could. Come on, Tony. Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, baby.
I saw your video, man. You walking through the tunnel at Tech out to Lane Stadium. That was nice, man. Who are those kids?
This is my buddy Jason Grubb. He's from Pulaski County. Those are little kids.
Did you say Pulaski? Oh, shout out to Pulaski County. My Pulaski County gangsters in the house. Okay.
Pulaski County Cougars, baby. My boy
the Cougars.
Back from Radford. Shout out to Radford.
Some of my friends went to Blacksburg. Some of my buddies at UVA went to Blacksburg High School, and then came up to Virginia. Someone played basketball down there. So listen, what was it like walking through that tunnel? Because I've only seen it Tony, at where the Rock is. That's where they show on ESPN. They only show y'all at the Rock. They don't show the beginning where y'all walk through. What's that like, man?
That hair stands up on your thing right now. It's still crazy.
How loud? And it's loud though. You can hear. I know you can hear it in there.
Oh man, you just don't understand, man. It's just another level, man. It's real. Can I get another one? Please. Thank you. Yeah, it's so real going through there, man. Woo! And then to hear that cannon, boom! And you run out of that tunnel.
Now, where are the cannons at? Are the cannons right there off to the left, or are they on the other side?
They're on the other side with the military. To the left.
Yeah, the ROTC. Yeah. So they're over on the other side. You guys come through over here, and then the things are going off over there. Okay. So you were down there with Brody Meadows and his folks, right?
Yeah. Go down there, hello to Brody.
How's he doing, man? How's he liking down there?
Good kid, great kid. Gonna have a chance to maybe crack the lineup for a little bit.
Cody ain't getting. Hey, our boy ain't getting pushed around in the lunchroom, is he? We ain't got to go down there for him, right? He good.
No God.
Cody,
that big boy.
Cody, he's 6'7". He's 6'7". Everybody wants to be his friend.
Yes, indeed.
Big bro. So what's the deal? Are they going to shorten him this year?
Well, I think since he went in January, he has a better chance now of being on the field. Playing a little bit. You never know. It's a process with linemen. Most important position on the field. One of the hardest and the toughest positions, offensive line. There's no team without the offensive line. If your offensive line is sorry, your team is sorry.
I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field, except against UVA. But hey, shout out to UVA's Tony Elliott, man. Good luck this year, buddy. Your work is cut out for you. The ACC in football doesn't have the luster of what it had, say, for example, in the 90s, into the 2000s. But he's got his work cut out for him. You basically got to start from scratch.
It's about that NIL money now for everywhere.
Get that NIL money. Right. Get them players in there.
Hey, he's between a 3.5 and a 4.0 student, so he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's to get to a school like a Stanford, to get to a UVA, I'm not saying if you don't have a 3.5 coming out of high school, you shouldn't try. But what I'm saying is that's where they're recruiting. They're going to that transcript. Oh, okay. 3.75, 3.8. I like this kid. you want to go to even a Vanderbilt. Not everybody can go to Vanderbilt. Okay, to the degree that you can. And I would say these guys nowadays have so much opportunity now. They have an opportunity to go to school, to go to a great school, and make a little money.
Yeah.
Okay, before you even think about going to the pros, you can make a little money, and maybe you walk out of there not in debt, but maybe you have enough set aside that you can buy your first house. Get yourself a job and buy your first house. Hey man, listen, rent is high as a mug. Okay, so you got to buy a house these days. These young guys, man, young guys and gals out here. This is not an easy world to live in because it's expensive. So I'm glad to see the young guys get to make some of that money on their image and
Get that
likeness.
money, and they got to save that money, man. Once they save that money, then they got to know how to actually use it. So it's all good.
Tony, what else you got for us? We're at 8:45 now, so I got to jump off shortly. But what else you
Okay.
got for us? What you got coming up?
Just get ready. Want to tell everybody, happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth. It so happens to fall on the same day. It's also the anniversary of the Limbaugh death.
Yeah,
Sunday. So, a lot of things going
yeah.
on. It could be game 7.
I'm hoping
It
for
could be
Game 7.
Father's
I'll pull
Day.
for Boston tonight. I'll pull for Boston tonight. That's
We
cool.
know 2 things is happening on Sunday. It's Father's Day and it's Juneteenth. Now, it could be game 7. So we don't
Yep.
know. So,
All right. So we're gonna sign this off. Thanks to Cody Bennett for hosting the show, and thanks to Tony Kennedy doing that hard work.
I got Golden State tonight.
Tony is the
We'll
road
be back
warrior
here
doing all
Monday.
that. Yeah, I'll try to get out there.
We'll be back here. Let's get back here on Monday.
All right.
Chip it up. Get ready for the summer. Because that's the 21st day of summer. Let's get back on here on Monday regardless.
Hey, Tony, appreciate you, buddy.
Somebody's going to be champion by the next time you see us.
Somebody
be
will.
NBA champion next time you see us.
Yep. Hey, Tony, we appreciate you, buddy.
All right, bro.
Thanks a lot. Good luck at the game, man.
Talk. Signing out.
Later.
See y'all.
Thanks, Cody.
Doing, baby. Can't breathe. All right, Cody. We out.